Hello everyone and welcome back to TerraFirmaPunk. Last time we left off, we made ourselves a boat. I realized that I'm kind of in desperate need of some rock types, some more variation of rock type at the very least. Well, where is my boat? There's my boat. So we're going to be setting sail here today. My biggest border is the sea, so that's what we're going to be utilizing to explore here. I have a better chance of finding more variation if I hit the water than trying to explore by land. The boat seems to be very much laggy right now, which is really unfortunate. Hopefully I don't lose it immediately. Oh, I did want to look up, is Archimedes' ships is in here. Fantastic. They required me to get to steel technology though, which is fair. Oh, I didn't realize it was getting so close to nightfall here. Worst case scenario, we spend the night on the open sea. But I do have my sleeping bag, so shouldn't be much of an issue, I don't think. Still haven't hit land yet, which is a bit disconcerting, but we'll see how it goes. I keep getting jetted back a little bit while boating here. Definitely a little bit buggy, unfortunately. I've tried to tell my FTB launcher to allocate 16 gigs of RAM, but it does not seem to have agreed with that setting. I don't know if it doesn't really seem to be using all that memory anyway. So I think it's more just a limitation of Minecraft itself. Whales! Man, seriously though. Still haven't hit land? We've seen plenty of oil spouts, which is interesting. I guess we're not that far. It just feels like a long time, but we've been getting pushed back a lot by just the game's inability to keep up. Something about the Minecraft Something about the Minecraft boat. It has just never worked properly. The game just doesn't seem to be able to handle it. I can glide with a hang glider and FTB and be totally fine. Loading chunks faster than the game can do it. But as soon as I take up a boat, something just goes wrong. And you never know really quite why it is, but yeah. Other vehicle mods don't seem to have the same issue. Riding a horse doesn't seem to have the same issue. At least anymore. I know horses were a little bit buggy for a while when they first came out, but all in all, pretty sure they're rather functional nowadays, which is a thing. At this point, do I just make a cut or what? I guess I gotta start heading, just keep heading directly south for a little bit. toward the equator. Whoa. A lot of airships out here. I mean, those are not Archimedes ships, are they? If they were, that would be amazing. Just get your way up to one, hijack it, get to moving. I don't think it is, though. Oh, whoa. That mob genuinely fell in the water? I think it did. In that case, I kind of want to avoid it. I wouldn't want it to shoot my boat. If it was a skeleton. I don't know that it was. Actually, you see a spider on the map. Which I don't think is what I saw. What I saw was definitely humanoid-ish. At the very weirdest, it was a creeper. Alright. So I don't know that I'm gonna have much time to record this episode, unfortunately, so I don't think I can really afford to make a cut. We'll see. If I do have the opportunity to make a cut, then I'm gonna cut here and bring you guys back in later. If I don't, I do have something I do want to talk about. So apparently No Man's Sky was leaked. Some people got a copy of the game early somehow. It looked like they got like a legitimate like CD copy of the game. Which, you know, when games leak, you usually automatically think, oh, well, like torrents or PC files leaked, right? So that was a little bit surprising to see that it was actually like a disc copy of the game that had leaked early. Although I suppose that has been happening fairly more often lately with shipping services like Amazon and eBay that try to make sure the package gets to its destination on time, so they ship it out. But the distributors closer to that person's home don't hold the package long enough, and then it shows up earlier than it's supposed to, or whatever. Seriously, still no land, huh? Yeah, at this point I just want to keep going east. I cannot believe I'm still in the ocean here. So the bright side to that, for me at least, is that now it looks like the PC version of No Man's Sky has been put back to the 9th of August, as opposed to it had been delayed to the 12th. I guess now with the... Like, I don't know this for sure, but it wasn't until after I heard the leak that I noticed that the release date had changed back to the 9th. So, as far as I know, or the assumption that I'm making, which please correct me if I'm wrong, if there's another reason, like a known reason for why this happened, but it seems like in light of the leak, to avoid, you know, having their fan base spoiled too much on the game or so on and so forth, that they've decided let's not push the game back any longer than we have to. Let's get it back out on its originally intended date. Make sure it comes out across all platforms simultaneously. We weren't worried about, you know, PC gamers having a 3-day spoiler. 3 days is pretty easy to avoid, but now that it's been leaked earlier than expected, it's more like 6 days. So that's almost a whole week. Let's just get the damn thing out, right? So that's the assumption that I'm making. That's the theory that I have. I don't know how to put it. But in all fairness, I had not been checking like every single day to see if the release date was still the 12th. I assumed when it was made the 12th that it was going to stay the 12th. And you know what? A 3-day delay is nothing, really. Hell, the 2-month delay wasn't that bad. Seriously, still in the ocean, huh? No land anywhere. Wow. So yeah. That's where No Man's Sky stands. Is that a... No, that was not shore. That was just the whale's back. Close. Not really, but... Whatever. So, still very excited for that game. I saw the No article about the leak. So... Or I watched the No video about the leak. So... The major complaints about the game were just bugs, you know, and I assume, based on the nature of the bugs, that a day one patch is probably already been made and is ready to be applied. Some stuff like, you know, mob animations were not working correctly, where they'd just be face to the floor, tail in the air kind of deal. Clearly, like, just an animation reference was not properly called, or some such things like that. Other than that, it didn't seem like the guy had any major complaints about the game, aside from duration, actually. Said it was the overall goal of the game was achieved a little bit faster than expected. Which, you know, I was never in it for the end goal. I just like the exploration part of the game. That's why I think I enjoyed Spore a lot more than a lot of people did. Like, I was hyped for it for years before it came out, as a lot of people were. But once Spore came out, I can't say I was as disappointed as a lot of people thought. I was disappointed in the South stage, admittedly. The Tribe stage, I was kind of glad, based on how it worked, that it didn't have to be very long. I enjoyed the civilization stage, or whatever. The kind of like the modern era stage. That was fun. The creature stage is, you know, always pretty fun. I actually don't mind it at all. You can streamline it to be pretty quick if you want it. You can drag it out if you want. It really feels like there's no pressure to complete it. And once you get to a certain point, it's like you don't feel threatened, but at the same time, it's like, even if you were, the way that it works, you really didn't suffer any substantial loss from it. Which I guess could be seen as poor game design, but to me, the ultimate goal of it was to get to the space stage and then just have complete freedom in exploration. And I was perfectly content with that. Like, every single planet, I felt unique, even though there was only a certain number of plants in the game. There was only a certain number of terrain options in the game. I never felt like I saw the same planet twice. And so there was nothing I enjoyed more about Spore than the space stage. And I still enjoy it very much. Which is, you know, I think agreeable. Granted, the game did not have nearly as much scope as I thought it did. But in the end, I still very much enjoyed the product that I got. Not what I expected, but definitely a very satisfying alternative. I think if I had gone, like, We Happy Few just went out on Steam in early access. When I first saw the reveal for the game, I expected something completely different. And I think if I had gotten the game completely blind, hadn't been playing it, that I wouldn't have disappointed. It would have been a perfectly satisfying alternative to what I was expecting. For those of you who don't know, We Happy Few, I expected to be sort of like a Dishonored style gameplay. But it ended up a little bit kind of similar, but at the same time very Don't Starve-y, if you ask me. A little bit more quest based, so maybe kind of like Starbound, I would say. Kind of like a weird quest system similar to Starbound, with like a Don't Starve survival mechanic kind of deal, and a Dishonored kind of like city system. But I was expecting it fully to be just like, here's like an objective based stealth game. When I first heard about it, kind of like disrupt the system kind of deal, as opposed to survival. I expected it to be extremely story based, is basically what I'm getting at. Like a linear story experience, where sure you have a little bit of free roaming, but at the end of the day, the majority of it is point A to point B. But it was not at all that, from what I've seen. I've seen Christopher Odd's playthrough of We Happy Few. It also seems very short, but at the same time it is early access, and the system they have in place definitely would make it super easy to extend the game, or not extend it, but continue it, to give it a longer but logical progression for the game. So no qualms about that. I definitely look forward to eventually getting it whenever I have the opportunity to do so. Seems like a super fun game. I would like it to be a little bit further in development, because I feel like it had a lot of bugs in it that kind of were a little bit game breaking in some aspects. There were definitely tons of workarounds for those, so they weren't game breaking, but they were definitely quest breaking. Like some stuff became impossible to complete if you, for whatever reason, did not meet a specific criteria. And then, normally when you fail the quest, it would say you failed the quest. Go ahead and move on. But these came in a permanent state of not completable. Kind of like the Narshada bug in Knights of the Republic 2, if anyone's familiar with it. Oh my god, seriously? Are we still not having found land? Okay, let's just start heading north again. I'm sure I'll find something eventually. So yeah, very much like the Narshada bug in Knights of the Republic 2, where stuff was just left hanging, open-ended, or not open-ended, but stuff was just left hanging, couldn't be completed. But yeah. So, definitely would like it to be a little bit further along, so such bugs are taken care of. For the gameplay to be able, well, not gameplay, but the length of the game to be extended just a little bit. And all in all, yeah, I would say based on what I was watching, it was definitely an alpha, early access, which is what it says on the menu screen. But that it was completable, which is nice. And it is something that I definitely would have no qualms endorsing if I were given the opportunity to do so. Not that I'm asking for it. I mean, honestly, I've got 40 subscribers at the time that I'm recording this video. let's not get ahead of myself here. But it would definitely be something that I would be open to playing, like, in the near future. Even before it's fully released. Like, I would be perfectly happy supporting the game in early access. Which I've done for a few games. I've done for Minecraft, I got it before the full release. Terraria, I got it before the full release, I believe. Don't Starve, I definitely got before full release, and Don't Starve Together as well. I think, anyway. Is Don't Starve even in full release? It probably is. Yeah, I think it came out of full release with when the Shipwreck standalone DLC was released, right? I think so. Anyways, we're currently at time for today, so that's going to have to do it for this episode. So thank you all for watching. This one was definitely very talkative, as, you know, we were trying to accomplish something, but I failed to reach that something in the allotted time. So, unfortunately, that was the case. But all the same, I hope you've enjoyed. If you did enjoy it, please feel free to leave a like or a comment. I'm certainly not adverse to episodes like this if you guys enjoy them. If you were, rather, I would have skipped this entirely and maybe not had this discussion and just focused on the task at hand. By all means, feel free to express that opinion. I'm fine either way. And I'm good with any and all feedback. I appreciate it very much. I appreciate it very much, and it always helps me out tremendously. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you all for watching. Bye for now.